Hello beautiful, and thank you for clicking on today's video. Today I wanted to talk about things that I wish I knew when I started minimalism. If you have just recently heard about the idea of minimalism and have decided that you would like to take this journey for yourself, I hope this video helps you. These are just some things I've learned along the way with my minimalism journey. I've been practicing minimalism for probably 7+ years. It's a little hard to identify because it wasn't like a specific day I just decided to be a minimalist. It was just sort of my ideology very slowly changed, and then I was able to attribute a label or a name and a community to it. And I have learned a lot along the way that I would love to share with you guys. So starting off is there are no two people that are exactly alike. And although this advice can relate to a lot of different things, specifically with relation to minimalism, there are no two types of minimalists that are exactly alike. And I think each individual just needs to adapt it for whatever works best for them. I sometimes get people telling me, oh, that's not very minimalist, as if there's this cookie cutter idea of minimalism. And I never want that to turn anybody off to all the benefits that minimalism can offer them. No, you do not need to live out of a backpack and only own 30 things to be a real minimalist. The next thing that I have learned through my minimalist journey is to lead by example. You find this new great thing that brings you so much joy in your life, and for me this was minimalism. It sort of unlocked a lot of different things in my life that I'll get to in another video. I found what I felt was this gold mine of information, and then my next course of action was to force this lifestyle on my friends and family because of how good it is. And that doesn't work for anything. It doesn't work with religion, it doesn't work with lifestyle choices, it doesn't work with diets. I mean, have you ever had your friend tell you about their new super awesome diet that you just have to try and then you're not so interested? It can be like that with minimalism too. I can specifically remember an example with my mom, and I still feel a bit guilty about this, where I was trying to convince her of all the positive attributes of minimalism, and then she finally got to the point where she was ready to do her initial declutter. And I ended up getting a bit frustrated just because of the visual clutter in her house when I was helping her declutter. And I felt like she wasn't getting rid of enough in order to have her house work for her. Quick edit I just wanted to plop in here. My mom isn't like excessive with her stuff. I would put her in the category of like normal American. It wasn't where I felt like she should be. And I even feel really rude and guilty recalling this story because that's not fair in any way, shape, or form. I regret that situation happening. Getting back to what I said originally, I have noticed with my friends and my family that they tend to be drawn to positivity. And that's true of all humans. So if you're doing something cool and you're starting to become happier and your life's starting to become more simple, people notice that. And then they'll come to you and they'll ask what you're doing. And then feel free to talk their ear off about this great new lifestyle that you have with minimalism. And they're gonna be a lot more inclined to pick up on what you're saying if they come to you through you leading by example, rather than trying to get them to where you already are. I stopped doing that, and I have had more people since stopping doing that ask me to help them with their declutters, to explain what minimalism is, why it's good, blah, blah, blah. So, lead by example. The next thing that I wish I knew from the beginning, and I wish I told myself from the beginning, is that you are more resourceful than you think you are. In my opinion, people are like water, and they ebb and flow and they fit into the space that they're given. Specifically with just in case items that I was holding on to, most of them, the just in case never came. If there was, usually I was able to be resourceful and use something different. For example, if we're having guests over and I decluttered my decorative bowl and now I don't have a decorative bowl, oh no, what am I gonna do? Well, I have a mixing bowl, and then I'll just use that and it works. We are more resourceful than we give ourselves credit for, and I think for the most part, just in case items at the time for me, I should have just parted with and trusted myself and been confident enough in myself to just say, I'm resourceful. I don't need these just in case items. My next piece of advice for my past self, or for you if you're a brand new minimalist, is to have a go bin in your house. The thing with minimalism is it's not just a one and done like how I thought it would be. I thought I would declutter my house and then I would be the perfect minimalist. Anybody else can relate to this? Let me know in the comments below. But that's not how it works, because we are evolving constantly as human beings and our lifestyle is evolving with us. Maybe when you started minimalism you didn't have kids and now you do, and now they're older and you need to declutter some of their younger kid toys. Or maybe there was a hobby that you tried, you realized you didn't like, and then you need to declutter those items. So there's lots of examples in life where life changes, and what I've learned with minimalism is, like everything else, it's a lifestyle. So as things come in, although I try to control the flow in and my lifestyle changes, things do inevitably have to get re-looked over and re-decluttered. So it's not a one and done. And the way that I best have solved this problem is in my garage, I have a go bin. So it's just a little Amazon cardboard box, and whenever I'm just going about my life in my house and I find something that I no longer feel like I need and I want to declutter, I'll pick it up, walk it down to the bin, and then when the bin is full, I take it to the donation center. No problem, super easy. So I don't have these 2-day long massive house declutters anymore. It's just sort of like a constant upkeep and a constant lifestyle adjustment. So it's so much easier now that I have that go bin. So this is a good one that I wish I could have told myself when I started my minimalist journey. And even if you're decently far into your minimalist journey, this may be helpful to you, because this just very recently clicked in my head, probably like a year and a half ago. And that is that the pursuit of perfection is a never-ending one. And the second part of that is not to find a different obsession with stuff. I was like, okay, I'm only gonna have one of this, one of that, two of this, one of those, whatever. So if I'm gonna have a minimal amount of stuff, it needs to be the perfect stuff. And the thing is what is perfect today will not be perfect tomorrow. You'll still have that dissatisfaction with what you have if you are constantly pursuing the perfect minimalist, the perfect one and only item. So what I do now is, for the most part, sometimes I still try to find the perfect item depending upon what that particular category of item is, but for the most part, I will find what is functional and what is good enough. And I think when a lot of people hear good enough, they think not the best. But I find that if you find something that's functional and it's good enough, and then you don't continue looking for something better, you're fine. Just don't obsess about it. Because you end up trading your consumerism obsession with stuff to a different type of obsession for stuff. And I don't think either one is healthy or really the ideal of what we're going for when we decide to go on this minimalist journey. The perfect example in my life is these mixing bowls. So I had in my Amazon cart for a very long time some giant stainless steel mixing bowls that had a grippy bottom and like a pour, what am I trying to say? A pour feature to the bowl. And they, by all categorizations of bowls, would be pretty perfect for cooking and baking. What I already own are stainless steel mixing bowls that don't have a grippy bottom and don't have a pour spout. What I was going to do was replace the bowls that I already have and already work perfectly fine and really don't cause that much of a hassle at all, and replace them with something that I thought was more perfect. And in my mind now, that's not a super ideal way to think about things, because I not only spent time looking for the perfect bowl, but I ended up not buying them, but I could have spent money and then had to have decluttered these bowls that I already owned and weren't causing me any problems to begin with. I don't know why I went searching for new bowls. These ones literally aren't a problem. I put a little towel on the counter, The bowl doesn't slide, it's not a problem. And as far as pouring things out, because they're stainless steel, they're relatively anti-stick or stick-proof. How would you say that? It's always when I'm filming that I completely lose my words. Both of the features that would have been in these perfect bowls literally don't matter. So I spent time and I almost spent money in the pursuit of perfection. So if I could advise myself with the mindset that I have today, it would say, if it's functional and it's not causing you any problems, you don't need to replace it. And the last thing that I would tell myself, or any new minimalist that happened to stumble across this video, is the stuff is just the beginning. Once you go through that uncomfortable period of decluttering your stuff and being faced with perhaps some not the best choices as far as purchases, because when you're decluttering, sometimes you're faced with that stuff and it doesn't always feel so good. But once you get over the hill and past that hurdle, minimalism opens up so much more beyond the stuff. I did not realize how much time I spent on the pursuit of stuff. Watching fashion bloggers, obsessing about how they look, wanting to match their look, going online, finding pieces that are similar, spending time in order to acquire money to get these pieces of clothing, put them in my closet, they have to be washed a special way, yada yada yada. All of that is time. And I didn't realize how much time my possessions were taking away from me. Opens up so much with that alone. Just having more time opens up so much in your life. I cannot begin to describe it. So those were some things that I wish I could have told myself when I started my minimalist journey. And wherever you are in your minimalist journey, I hope that some of this was inspirational or helpful to you. That's all for now, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!